Imagine waking up on a busy Monday morning, the alarm ringing insistently. As you consider your day, thoughts of past failures and doubts seep into your mind. I'm never on time, I always mess up, you think. This moment, filled with self-doubt, shapes your outlook and actions for the day. A few years ago, a friend of mine named Sarah experienced a similar moment of self-doubt. Feeling constantly unorganized and ineffective, Sarah decided to adopt a new identity as someone who valued punctuality and competence. She began setting her alarm earlier and tackled small tasks, like arranging her workspace or organizing her to-do list. These initial, manageable steps helped her build momentum. Over time, this shift in self-identity led to a remarkable transformation in both her personal and professional life. A fundamental psychological principle known as the law of identity underpins human experience and influences various aspects of individual behavior and cognition. This principle suggests that our beliefs about ourselves dictate not only how we perceive our capabilities, but also how we act upon them. This principle is deeply embedded within psychological processes, often operating unconsciously and influencing thoughts, behaviors, and outcomes without explicit awareness. The law of identity primarily concerns observable actions, nor is it defined by verbal expressions or declarations. Instead, the law of identity centers on the beliefs individuals maintain regarding their own identity and the core truths they accept about themselves. Regardless of the goals established, affirmations practiced, or literature consulted, psychological research, such as Carol Dweck's studies on fixed versus growth mindsets, suggests that individuals often fail to exceed or transcend the limitations imposed by their self-image, regardless of external efforts or intentions. Dweck found that students who adopted a growth mindset were able to outgrow their self-imposed limitations when their beliefs shifted, aligning neatly with the thesis that self-identity plays a crucial role in personal achievement. To help readers apply the growth mindset in their daily lives, consider a few practical exercises. First, try journaling about moments of growth and self-improvement. Each day, take a few minutes to reflect on situations where you overcame challenges or expanded your abilities. Write about what you did, how it felt, and how your perspective shifted. This practice can reinforce a growth mindset by highlighting personal development and cultivating an awareness of your evolving self-identity. Furthermore, incorporate daily affirmations by repeating positive statements about your abilities and potential. Visualize yourself successfully navigating challenging situations, which can help you build a stronger connection to your desired identity. These practices, when used consistently, can help to reinforce a growth mindset over time. This phenomenon exemplifies the law of identity. Psychologists and researchers widely regard self-identity as a primary determinant in shaping human behavior and achievement. As Dr. Maxwell Maltz, author of the groundbreaking book Psycho-Cybernetics, observed, "You can never outperform your self-image." His work in the mid-20th century laid the foundation for understanding the vital link between self-perception and personal transformation. This insight emerged from clinical observations in surgical settings rather than controlled laboratory experiments. During his work as a plastic surgeon, Maltz observed that some patients experienced dramatic improvements in self-confidence and overall happiness after undergoing surgery. Their altered appearance seemed to elevate their belief in their own effectiveness, illustrating the profound impact of self-efficacy. This newfound self-belief was a catalyst for lasting change rather than the physical transformation itself. The external transformation sparked immediate internal change. However, for many others, even significant physical improvement failed to alter their self-perception. They continued to view themselves as unattractive or unworthy, regardless of their new appearance. Although their outward appearance was altered, their internal identity and self-perceptions remained constant. It's essential to acknowledge that setbacks and doubts are natural parts of the journey toward change. When these challenges arise, remind yourself that persistence and maintaining the right mindset are key. For those feeling stuck, remember that change is possible, and with effort, transformation can occur. Gradually, you can reshape your self-identity and experience a more fulfilling life. Maltz concluded that genuine transformation is primarily psychological rather than physical. Corresponding shifts in mindset must accompany physical changes to achieve lasting transformation. This critical distinction is frequently overlooked in discussions of personal change. Individuals do not necessarily attain the outcomes they desire. Rather, they experience outcomes that align with their internal identity and self-beliefs. For example, individuals who perceive themselves as inherently unlucky may unconsciously undermine their own successes. Similarly, those who believe they are destined to struggle may inadvertently sabotage opportunities that could lead to well-being. Conversely, individuals who perceive themselves as worthy, capable, and purposeful tend to align their thoughts and behaviors with these beliefs. This phenomenon is not the result of magic or luck. It is the outcome of your self-concept. Research in psychology supports that every decision you make, every habit you form, and every boundary you establish originates from your core identity and self-beliefs. For instance, a study conducted by Bandura and Cervoni, 1983, demonstrated that students with high self-efficacy set more challenging goals and persisted longer when faced with difficulties, indicating that self-beliefs can significantly predict persistence and achievement. Similarly, data from athletic settings show that athletes who embed a strong self-concept into their identity often outperform those who do not, as their belief in personal efficacy influences their persistence in training and competition. Therefore, meaningful change does not begin with the question of what actions are appropriate. Instead, it originates from an examination of evolving self-identity. As renowned psychologist Carl Jung wrote, "We meet ourselves time and again in 1,000 disguises on the path of life," illustrating how our encounters and experiences often reflect our own beliefs and self-concept. External circumstances often mirror internal beliefs, thereby reinforcing the identity projected by the individual. Social interactions often reflect the way individuals perceive themselves. Life outcomes are often influenced by the strength and nature of an individual's self-belief. Many of us know the feeling of being stuck, trapped in old patterns that repeat the same disappointments. It's a deeply frustrating and often shaming experience. But remember, it's not because you're broken. Rather, such experiences often result from acting in accordance with an outdated self-identity. The subconscious mind tends to perpetuate behaviors and outcomes that are consistent with the established self-identity. Importantly, identity is not immutable. Individuals possess the capacity to redefine their self-identity. This process allows for the reconsideration and adoption of new self-concepts. Spiritual teacher Neville Goddard emphasized that transformation begins by assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled, that is, by living from the perspective of your desired identity, rather than merely wishing for change. Individuals begin to adopt the thought patterns characteristic of their desired identity. They emulate the behaviors associated with this new self-concept. Responses become consistent with the attributes of the adopted identity. Gradually, external circumstances begin to reflect the internal conviction associated with the revised self-identity. Notice how each small win reinforces the revised identity, creating momentum. If you want to change your life, stop asking, "What should I do?" Instead, individuals should consider how their desired identity would approach specific situations. To make this more practical, follow these steps for a thought experiment. 1. Identify a challenging situation you're currently facing. 2. Take a moment to envision how your future self, who embodies your desired identity, would perceive this situation. 3. Script a possible response or action that your future self might take. 4. Reflect on this imagined scenario and note any insights or feelings that arise. This micro-exercise transforms abstract advice into immediate, actionable practice, fostering a deeper connection with the identity you wish to adopt. To reinforce this connection, incorporate simple daily practices such as affirmations, where you repeat positive statements about your desired self, and visualization exercises, where you imagine living as your future self. These consistent practices can help solidify your new identity over time. Adopting the identity of a disciplined individual leads to behaviors that are inherently consistent with discipline, rather than requiring conscious effort. Similarly, identifying as a confident person results in authentic confidence rather than superficial imitation. When you start identifying as someone deserving of peace, you no longer chase validation, you embody calm. Corresponding changes in external reality often accompany a shift in self-identity. These changes may not occur immediately, but they are likely to manifest over time. Identity serves as the foundational basis for outcomes and achievements, a relationship substantiated by numerous psychological studies. And until you plant new beliefs about who you are, you'll keep harvesting the same outcomes. It is therefore valuable to periodically reflect on one's self-concept. This reflection may include consideration of previously held self-beliefs. Additionally, individuals may evaluate the self-beliefs they wish to adopt moving forward. Because, as research and experience show, your life inevitably moves toward the self-image you consistently hold in your mind. Individuals tend to become congruent with their prevailing self-beliefs. The essential insight is to recognize and reclaim authentic self-identity, rather than pursuing external transformation. External circumstances often change in response to internal shifts in self-concept. It always starts inside. If this message resonated with you, join us at Learn and Grow Summaries, where together we awaken potential, reshape our mindsets, and live from our truest selves. Share this journey with others who might benefit and take the first step towards a fulfilled life.